Today we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install Optronics LED combination tail light kit for trailers under 80 inches wide. These are what our lights are going to look like installed. As you can see, the LEDs are really bright and do put off quite a bit of light. Now, these are going to give us our basic lighting functions, like our tail lights, our brake lights, and our turn signals. One of the cool things about this kit is that the actual left tail light also serves as a license plate light. This way we stay illuminated and legal. Here on the back of the tail light, you can see it's nice and flat, which will make it easy to mount. There's going to be plenty of wire to work with. There's also going to be a slot cut down. That way our wires can sit nice and flat against the tail light. There's also going to be some lettering, which will tell you what each wire is used for. As you can see, even in these bright lights, these LEDs really shine. The driver's side light is going to utilize 14 LED diodes. To help you decide if this will work with your application, I'll give you a few measurements. Now, from the edge of the light to the edge of the light, that measures 5 1/16 of an inch wide. From the top of the light to the bottom of the light, that will measure 4 9/16 of an inch. As far as the thickness or the depth of the light, that'll measure 2 5/8 of an inch. On the side of the tail light, we also have a built-in clearance light. There's going to be a single bulb that will illuminate, and the plastic itself is reflective. The passenger side light, since it does not have a license plate light, will utilize 11 LED diodes. One of my favorite things about this kit is that these lights are going to make for great replacements or even upgrades from your traditional style incandescent light. You're not going to have to worry about any brittle filaments breaking or even having to change bulbs. The LEDs are going to last a whole lot longer and be a whole lot brighter, all while using less power at the same time. It's also going to incorporate our license plate bracket, which will make life a little easier there as well too. I'll show you how to install the rear tail light and license plate bracket. Now keep in mind, each application is going to be a little bit different, but this is how we're going to do ours. First thing we're going to do is remove the hardware off the back of the lamp. We're then going to take our bracket for our license plate and put it on over the studs, and then we can push that into the slots and loosely install one side of the hardware. Now, with one side loosely installed, we're going to ground our white wire. This is the ground wire with the ring terminal on it. So we're actually just going to ground it to the taillight stud. But first we're going to put on our flat washer, then our ring terminal, then our lock washer. Now we can take a 10 millimeter and tighten them down. The kit does come with a whole new wiring harness. I'll show you how I routed mine. As you can see, it starts with the 4-pole. Now, I did need extra wire for the ground wire, which is a white one here. So what I did is picked up some white wire off etrailer.com, as well as a heat shrink butt connector, connected the two ends together, and then I grounded it to the front of the trailer by using a ring terminal. So I drilled a hole and used a bolt to go through that ring terminal to make a nice tight connection. Now, the yellow and brown wire will run along the right side of the trailer if you're looking at the front of it, and the green and brown wire will run along the left side of the trailer. Now, every application will be a little bit different depending on how your trailer is set up. Ours actually had metal tubing already in place to run our wires through, all the way to the back of the light. Now, if you have to run new wires, just be sure to avoid any sharp edges moving parts. I just make sure they're nice and tight, not dangling, to avoid hitting anything on the road. All right, so now we can connect our wires coming from our light to the wires from our trailer. Now the kit does come with quick splice connectors. However, since this will be outside, I personally like to use heat shrink butt connectors. If you need some of these, you can find them on etrailer.com. So we'll go ahead and slide that over the wire, crimp it down. Do the same thing for the yellow wire. Now we'll connect the corresponding colors to the wires coming from the trailer. With them crimped down, we can then take a heat source and heat up the heat shrink. With everything connected, we can go ahead and push our wires back into the tubing to keep everything nice and safe. Now, if you have another light to do on the other side, with the exception of our license plate bracket, you would just repeat that same process. With all of our wiring and lights hooked up, we can now put power to them and test them out. So here we have our tail lights, our left turn, our right turn, and finally our brake lights. And that'll do it for our look at and installation of Optronics LED combination tail light kit for trailers under 80 inches wide.